What's up?
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning or evening, or not evening, afternoon, early afternoon, whatever it is. But
Yeah, yeah.
man, we're here again with another episode. I mean, we're doing these every Thursday at 11 o'clock, interviewing an agent that's killing it and in their field, and sharing information in order for to help the real estate community, and also just kind of just be a guide on things that's working. So I'm here with Ephraim Abdullah right now, and Ephraim, man, we got a story, man, as far as like how we originally met and went
Whew.
back.
We got history, man. We got history.
We got history, dude. We got history, man. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, I always like to start off with, just kind of the journey of real estate, right? Because
hmm
a lot of people, they're in it and they see where people are right now, but they don't
hmm
understand the journey and the process and the things they had to go through in order to get to where they wanted to be. So,
Yeah.
so can you kind of just give us a little quick journey lesson of how you transitioned and how we and you met, and then how we was able to partner up and stuff like
How long is this show gonna be? 4, 5 hours?
that.
Man, it was a journey. It was a serious journey, and real estate for me, I'd say real estate chose me. I didn't choose real estate necessarily. I had always been interested in real estate, and when I was living in Florida, I actually got involved from the construction side for a little while right before the crash, and then the crash happened, and that just blew me up. So not blew up, but like blew me up, wiped me out. So then I moved to Atlanta in '09, and I was cutting hair. I'd been a barber for some years, and I had to start all over from scratch. I eventually got into real estate accidentally. Like I said, it kind of chose me. I was talking to a guy in the barbershop who was doing some property management, and he was telling me, how he had these properties he was managing. He worked a full-time job. He was doing that on the side. He was making this extra money. So I was like, I could do that, especially being in the barbershop. I got more free time than him. My time is a lot more flexible, so I could do that. But he didn't want to. He wouldn't, even though he didn't have a license. He told me I needed to have a license to get into it, right? So I started the process to get my license. That was the only reason I wanted. I wanted to get a license to get a couple of properties to manage and make some extra money on the side. Well, I got my license. The guy backed out on me, said he was gonna hook me up. He was gonna give me a couple of properties to manage. He was gonna get me started. He completely reneged on me. So I had the license. I had to do something with it. I went and found a property management company. Just wanting to get a few properties to manage. Well, they wouldn't let me manage any properties. So I'm like, man, I'm not gonna keep showing these rental properties for a few $100s. I might as well start selling. So I, took a couple of days off from the barbershop and did my real estate, and it started to grow. People, I got business from the barbershop. Actually, a lot of the clients that came there started using my services to buy homes, and it grew, and I eventually had to leave the barbershop. That was my first love. I had to leave it. The money was coming in real estate, and I was like, hey, this if I want to get to the real potential of this thing, I'm gonna have to just go pick one lane and go full speed in that one. So yeah, that's how I got into real estate actually here. That was back in 2014.
14, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people, when they're trying to grow their real estate business and build everything out, I get a lot of folks like, well, so should I just quit my job in order for me to be full into it? And the first thing I
hmm
say, like, no, like, why would you quit your job? Do you still
Right.
need to eat? You still got bills to pay, right? But at
Right.
the same time, you have to treat the real estate part the same way you would treat your full time job. So
Right.
if you're gonna be have a full time job, then you got hours that you have to show up, and you got things that you have to do within that full time job. And then if you're going to do this, if you're going to transition and make that real estate your full time job, it's going to be the same thing. You got to create a schedule, be faithful to that schedule, and do the things necessary in order to be success. And that sounds like what you did. You took some time outside of your regular job to actually go and focus on the real estate stuff until the real estate stuff got to the point where it was bigger than what your job was, and the potential was there. Then you made that transition.
Exactly. And just to clarify, I didn't have a job. I've never had a job. I just do stuff I like and I get paid for it. That's how it was with cutting hair. I mean, I started cutting hair in high school, and it was just something I liked to do. And I eventually, got a license and started doing it for some decent money. And the same thing with real estate. Something that I was always interested in. I like it. So that's what I do, something I like, and I happen to get paid for it. But yeah, so to transition, I definitely had to make that decision. I mean, I took a couple of days at first, and I dwindled all the way down from, taking one day out of the shop to 2, 3 days off, and then I got all the way down to I was only in the shop one day a week, and that just that wasn't doing anything. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, then I had to really just go, full speed with real estate, and actually, um, that was right around the time that I met y'all. That was when I decided to leave the shop altogether and go completely full time in real estate. Was when I met y'all. I was at another brokerage, and it I wasn't feeling like I was getting what I really needed from there, and there was some other things that I was, it's just a feeling that I had, and I started looking into other things, other brokerages and whatever. Came to a function that you guys were at, and met you and Ron, and I said, hey, I'm thinking about making a move. Y'all seemed like, what y'all had going on seemed like something I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to get with y'all and learn, and you were open and receptive and made it happen.
yeah. Man, it's funny because when we first met you, and you was originally you wanted to be on our team, but you were very honest with it. You was like, hey, I want to be on your team, but I'm probably gonna stay maybe a year or so, and I'm gonna go and do my
Yep.
own. And most people, when you hear something like that, it's like, nah, man, I'm not about to train you to leave.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm not about to go down that whole process or whatever. But for whatever reason, like if it was anybody else, I mean, we probably would have been like, nah. But for whatever reason, we talking, we saw something that was like, hey, let's go ahead and work with this guy. Maybe it's just that I appreciate the honesty. Because there's so many other people they feel that way, but then they tell you something different. But
Right.
you were just so honest with it. It was like, okay, well, what's the difference between him and somebody else that is not saying that? So it's
Right.
like,
Right.
let's
Yeah.
let's bring him on board. Let's see what's happening, see what's doing, and see what we can actually create, man. And to your credit, you came in. The funny thing is I always use the analogy with you, the turtle and the hare, right? So you got the hair that runs real, real fast, and then
Mm.
they're taking breaks, they're slowing down, and they don't never make it to the finish line. And your process was always slow and steady, slow and steady. You're gonna get there slow and steady, but
Hmm.
you was
My
quiet.
wife doesn't like that.
She doesn't like that.
She likes the result, the outcome, but she doesn't like that I take my time and stuff. It's too
You
much.
take your time. I mean, you take your time. It was just always slow. It was like, hey, so man, is he gonna go? He's gonna go, and then next thing you know, you just start closing deal, and then the next deal, and then the next deal, and the next deal. I'm like, oh man, this guy is a silent assassin. you know, quiet, but he stay straight killing the
You're the
business and
second
stuff.
person to call me that this week.
There you go. That's what you are, man. I mean, that's what you are, a silent assassin, man. But I mean, it's to your credit. You just stay consistent, and that's one of the biggest gifts I think that a person can have is that consistency in something that actually works. And it's obviously you've been doing stuff and you've looked at models and to your credit, you've been following to the T and you've been getting the results from it. So that like I said, that's awesome in and of itself. So all right, so you join our team. Obviously, you start doing well. Then what you do is you live up to your promise of saying that you wanted to leave.
Yeah, try to live up to my promises.
Yeah. But the good part about it is at that particular time when you had decided to leave, we had, found a new model where we were
Hmm.
able to help you even though that you had left the team.
Yeah, that it was perfect, man. And I'd say that it was just meant to be from the whole way, like you said. I could have just easily left out the part that I was gonna only be with y'all for about a year or so. I could have just left that out and not said it at all. But for some reason, I just felt like, hey, I want to let these guys know. Look, if you're willing to work with me, this is what I'm willing to offer, and this is what I'm gonna do, and that's it. If you can work with that, then fine. If not, then I'll keep it pushing. But to you guys' credit, y'all said, "Hey, let's go ahead and work with him, see what we can do." And it was good for the time that I was on the team. Um, I had, I think I told you this before. I had looked into EXP before joining your team, and I liked the model, but I felt like it's just, again, it goes back to, I think everything happens for a reason. But I liked the models for sure, but I felt like there were some things that I still wanted to learn, and the way you guys team was set up, it just attracted me. And I had never been attracted to being, because I'd been offered to be on teams before. Even in my previous brokerage, there was a couple guys in the office that had teams and they were doing pretty well, but it just wasn't, it didn't resonate with me. When I met you guys, it was something that said, this might be the place I need to be. And then like I said, when we found the model, it just flowed so smooth. It was perfect the way it was set up to where I could do what I wanted to do, which was go solo again, but still be a part of the whole organization and still be able to plug in. And it's just been perfect, man. There's no other word I could use to describe it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's been a pleasure for me to actually see like the growth, from what you were doing, when you was on our team, to what you've been able to do on your own, and just kind of, building, your brand out and going to the next level with it. So I know one of the things that you learned was to be the mayor in your area.
Right.
Everybody knows who the mayor is.
Yep.
If you don't, you got a problem, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
the mayor is the guy that he's gonna shake hands and kiss babies. So
Shaking hands and kissing babies.
so 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 you've been able to do that, man. Like, can you go into that and basically how that has helped your business grow and your awareness for your community?
Yeah, man. The whole model came from, I think the first person I heard talk about it was Andrew Gaydosh, as part of our organization. And that's another thing, just the affiliation you have with so many agents from around the country with the model that we're in. Um, he talked about this neighborhood mayor thing, and that resonated with me because naturally, um, I'm introverted, so I don't like being on the phone too much. But ironically, I will go out and talk to people in person. I'll knock on doors. I'll do stuff like that. So, but he talked about this whole thing in the neighborhood mayor, where you put on events, you make yourself known, you become known basically in a geographic location, whether it's one neighborhood, a couple of neighborhoods, a square miles or blocks or whatever that you utilize, and you just become that person that people know when they think about real estate, they think about you. So it's taken some time to get that going, but now it's rare that I'll see somebody in my immediate area that I won't at least have a face recognition for them, and they recognize me a lot of times because they just see different stuff, see me posting, they see my car magnets, which didn't agree with, but they see my signs out, it's nice to have people that know you and know what you do, and then they come to you for that reason. It's just as opposed to going out and chasing, and that's what really attracted me to that business model. I wanted people to come to me as opposed to me going to them all the time. Me having to hunt for leads and the leads coming to me.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big statement in and of itself, just for the simple fact that most agents, if you ask them what's the one thing that's holding them back from actually hitting their numbers and achieving their goal, is leads. And
Mm-hmm.
they're always asking, like, what I got to do to get leads, what I got to do to grow my business that way. And basically what you've been able to do is create an atmosphere in your area where you're attracting people rather than having to
Mm-hmm.
chase people.
Yeah. It's nice to have people just call you out of the blue and say, "Hey, man, we thinking about selling our house. When can you come over and take a look at it?"
Yeah.
I like that.
That-
I like
that's
that.
a great phone call, right?
Oh man, that's the best phone call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're going out and you're like I said, you're meeting people and talking to folks in the neighborhood, and you got your car magnet signs, and that's an inside joke for us. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so just kind of explain the whole situation. He was on our team and he was talking about getting these car magnet signs, and I was like, man, I've never gotten business from a sign. It was always from doing this other thing, and not a sign itself, but just a car magnet sign. But
Hmm.
he assured me that this thing is going to work, and I'm like, all right, man, we'll go ahead and if you want to ride around and have that thing mess up your paint job to your car, you just go ahead and do it. I mean, it's up to you. But this other thing that we've been doing consistently has been working for us, so I'm gonna keep working that way. And I think you got what is one person in what it was it the 6 month period of time or something like that?
I got one sale that I know directly came from the car magnet, and I get people all the time that see the car magnet and be like, "Oh, you do real estate? Okay, yeah. I need to talk to you." So I can't say that it's in conjunction with other stuff. So
Yeah.
when they see it, they already know I do real estate. Most people already know I do real estate, but the magnet just reminds them. So gotta keep it going. I keep it going.
Gotta keep it going.
Yep.
Gotta keep it going. So I mean, I'm not against the car signs. Anybody that uses those, it's not a problem. I just,
Yeah.
if you're only doing the car signs, I think that was really
Yeah.
my
No.
point. You can't just only do the car sign and
Right.
expect to get all this business. It's like, it's a force when you do car signs, you do
Mm-hmm.
mailers, you do social media, you do,
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing all circle prospecting, if you're doing
Right.
all those things at one time, then because you're doing all those things, everything works. So
Right.
because they've already saw you on social media, and because they already you circle dialed them, or
Mm-hmm.
when they see your car sign, it's like, oh, this is this guy that I've been seeing on social media, so now that works. Or
Right.
vice versa. Oh, I saw the car sign, and now I see this social media. I trust this guy, so obviously he got a bigger
Mm-hmm.
business. So like when you're using
Mm-hmm.
all of those things and together, that's how you start to what you call build a presence, and that presence
Right.
is how you get known, and you get to those phone calls of, hey, I'm
Yep.
looking to list my house, can you come over here and check it out?
Right. So yeah, I mean, I'm a part of my HOA board. I'm also a part of the Development Authority of Powder Springs, the city I live in. So I go out to different stuff, and I'm just mixing and mingling with people, and the car magnet sign is just a part of it. So I make sure I try to connect with people on social media when I meet them, so they're always seeing something. You know, they're seeing my post, and then they're seeing, you know, I try to get their email address. I have a weekly email going out also. So, you know, all those things together, like you said, the door knocking. So I don't do much door knocking now, especially since COVID came in. But, you know, that was actually my favorite, one of my favorite activities was the door knocking. But, you know, I do some social circle prospecting. You know, I'm not the big phone guy, but, you know, I have to get on there every now and then. So, yeah, with all that stuff combined, definitely increases the awareness and just puts you out, and you know, before you know it, pretty much everybody knows who you are.
Yeah. So the question: how much time do you actually spend on that part of things? Because a lot of agents, you know, they're not really working on their business or doing the necessary activities in order to generate business in and of itself. So how much time do you dedicate just doing that kind of stuff?
Well, different stuff. Social media doesn't take very long. You know, you can spend a few minutes a day on that and post here and there. The door knocking, like I said, I hadn't been doing much of that. But I would spend when I do door knocking, I spend about an hour and a half or so a day. It usually takes me about that long to get through 25 doors and talk to about 12 people. So and get those 12 or probably 8 to 10 email addresses or whatever, which I got, you know, a ton of emails from my area now. But I generally spend on the phone if I'm doing circle prospecting. I only do that now. I do about 3 days a week for about 2 hours each day. You know, I'll just I have my geographic area that I'm going to call. So now I do around my listings. I'll call when I list it, just list it, and I call it when it goes under contract. Call around that. And actually, I've just recently brought on a service that actually does most of the calling for me. So I really only call now mainly once they contact someone and they want to set up a call with me.
Hmm.
So again, it's somebody that wants to talk to me that I'm talking to mostly now. I don't do much of the front end, you know, just cold calling anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, you built the business up to the point where you get to outsource that portion of it, so you can actually be more productive in something else.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So, that's huge, man. I mean, that's really big. I always liken, you know, what you're doing to say a water hose, and what most real estate agents do is you know they'll do prospecting initially. They'll get the client, then they'll start working with those clients. It's like
Mm-hmm.
three, four, five, well, however many clients they're working with. But they get boggled down in just working with that one client. And when that client closes, then they have to turn around and do it all over again.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always say you want to turn the spigot on and keep it on. So the spigot
Mm-hmm.
to me is, that's where the prospecting comes in at. The
Mm-hmm.
water hose, the water that comes out the hose, that's your closings of the clients that you're working with. Now, when you first turn that spigot on, you don't immediately get water coming out that hose right away. It has to
Right.
flow through that tunnel. That funnel goes to the end of the hose before it actually come out. So in this business, a lot of times you don't really see the results from your work that you're putting in initially until you actually start having closing, which can take 2 3 months before that start to happen.
Right.
So, once they start getting the closings happen, they stop doing the prospecting part of it, which means they turn their spigot off. Now, when they turn their spigot
Mm-hmm.
off, water is still coming out that hole. But believe me, it's
It's gonna
gonna
stop.
stop. It's gonna stop at
Yep.
some point. But it's kind of like what you're doing, and why you've been so successful is the consistency of blocking the time out to continue to prospect. I mean, is that pretty much, am I right on that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got to be doing something every day to generate business. I mean, that's just, and it took me a while to really accept that. Like you said, I was in the whole process of doing some and then getting some getting some business going and get some closings, and then I got to start back over again. So I finally realized, took your advice and got somebody else to do the stuff that I don't want to do, and that just
Yeah,
keeps that spigot going,
that's it. That's
and
it,
I
man.
can focus on the stuff that I do want to do, that I like doing.
Yep, yep. So basically, what you're really saying is now you're creating a business to work for you rather than you working for that business. So
Right.
you want to outsource all the stuff that you don't want to do in order for you
Hmm.
to do the stuff that you do want to do, which is the highest dollar producing thing, which is getting in front of sellers and getting in front of buyers.
Right.
So if you can outsource that $10 an hour work, $15 an hour work, whatever, in
Hmm.
order for you to get that hundreds of or $1,000 an hour work, getting in front of buyers and sellers, then you're maximizing, not only just your time, but your money that you're going to be able to bring in.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So man, that's I mean that's really good information, man. So all right, so you're the mayor of your town. You're well known. Are you known for the beard as well? I mean, what's that? What's
Yep.
that? You
That's
know?
that's the biggest thing I'm known for, man. Believe it or not. I mean, every time somebody sees, they recognize me because of the beard. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to an event or something, not my event, but I walk in and it's like, "Oh, you're the realtor," and they all most people say, I recognize the beard, recognize. So yeah, you can see it's grown a little bit, and I'm I am not touching it. it's,
Hey, hey, it's your brand now. Like
it is. It
that's really
is.
what it is. I
Yep.
talked to a few agents, and they're always asking questions. If I should put my face on my sign,
Hmm.
or should I put my face on the for sale sign or the car magnet sign or whatever it is? Should I
Hmm.
put my face on there? And I was asking them like, well, um, do you want them to do business because of you, or do you want them to do business because of some brokerage that there's a lot of other agents there for? And
Hmm.
and they're like, no, 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 I want them to do business with me. Like, well, then you need to put your face on the sign because you are the brand. Like your face is the
Hmm.
brand. So it means the
Right.
same way with attorneys. Like attorneys do the same thing. They'll have the name of their company, but
Hmm.
their face is always there because they recognize that they are the brand. So it's the same thing with
Yep.
agents. You got to be the brand. You got to be there. They got to recognize the beard. Whatever
Hmm.
it is that stands out. Me, bald head or whatever. So you are the brand. Like when me and Ron was doing it, we would like, we would take these pictures back to back on our for sale sign. So like people used
Hmm.
to come in there was like, hey, you guys are the guys that's standing back to back.
Yep.
So we were recognized for being back to back on our for sale sign. So like whatever it is that you're putting out there, just know that they're gonna
Hmm.
recognize you based on that.
Yep. For sure. And a lot of people feel like, well, I don't want to turn some people off. I'm like, well, I don't want to do business with the people that turned off just by looking at a picture.
Yep.
But I do want to do business with those people who look at my picture and say, hey, that guy looks like somebody I want to do business with. All right,
Yeah.
let's do business.
I think a
you're not
lot of
going you're not going to get everybody anyway. So, okay.
Yep. Yep. I want the people that are looking for me.
Right. Right.
That's
I'm looking
that's
for the
that's
ones that are
all.
looking for me. Yep.
That's it. That's it. That's all, man. So, dude, like, all right. So, any last words, man, before we jump off of here? If you want to, what would you tell somebody that wants to be the mayor of their town? Where would you tell them to start?
Mm, I would probably start. Well, you have to actually get involved in your local activities, whatever's going on in your locality. Like like I said, got involved in my HOA board. Just to let people know that I'm here. I'm here to help and work and do whatever. And I don't pitch real estate. That I'm a real estate agent in the HOA board meetings, but the more I do in the to serve the HOA, of course, people know what I do. It comes up in conversation from here and there, and people then they get to know me personally. They get to see me actually working, contributing to the community, and then it makes it easier for them to do business with me. And other things, like I said, I'm on the development authority of Powder Springs. So just getting people, just getting to know people, building relationships, letting them get to know me just for me. Then when it comes time to do some business, then they're more likely to work with somebody to know. And then like the social media stuff, yeah, to get your just to get your face and name out there, you know, that stuff is really really it's really crucial in this day and age, because everybody's on the social media. So yeah, that's why I say just get involved. Basically, get involved and get your name and face out there.
Yeah, man. Well, good information, dude. Man, I appreciate everything. Anybody that's looking to, find out what partnering with us looks like, I mean, you can reach out to Ephraim. His phone number's there. You can also reach out to me. And, we're like an open book. We have an abundance mindset, and we'll tell you some of the things that we've been able to grow. And, if it's one of those things that makes sense, we can go a little bit further into that stuff. But man, like I said, I appreciate you for just being consistent. The turtle. Silent Assassin. That's gonna be your new name, Silent Assassin.
Ah, should
if
I
I,
put?
if I
I might put that on my sign. So, no,
put it on there,
people might wonder, silent assassin. This guy gonna come in my house and I don't know what he gonna do. No, I might not want to do that.
man, you're gonna assassinate anybody that comes in with a low ball offer to buy your house. That's what I'm gonna do. You gotta spin it, man. You gotta spin
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We're cool, man. So,
Oh,
like, once again, we do these every Thursday at 11 o'clock, interviewing an agent that's killing it and sharing with the community. So tune in for next Thursday. Like I said, just reach out to me or Ephraim if you want to know more about partnering. And to the next episode, appreciate it, brother, and all the information, dude.
hey, I appreciate you having me on, man.
All
Yeah,
right, man.
for sure.